Yes, good morning, everyone. Sir, yesterday in the Python logging, how to create the log files, how to provide the timestamp, date and the time. And at the time of logging, there are three parts are there. One is logging level, second one name of the logger, third one message. In the name of the logger by default root. Because of this root, there are so many problems will be there. Yesterday explained some problems of the root. That's why I have to customize the logger creation and usage. How to customize the root logger. How to customize the root logger. First of all, every time I'm using the logging module, logging that I'm using debug, messages, everything. Because of logging module, by default, the logger name is root. In that, the problem is, first, whatever configuration we are doing, same configuration it is confirmed. SD created two files, test.py, student.py. But log file created only student, not created the test. Same like that. The root logger will be displayed either console or file, only one only. If you want to display both, I want to display console result as well as file. Not possible. That's why we have to customize our logger. For this, sir, simple. First, you have to create object to the logger class. First, I have to create object for logger class. Logger is the predefined class. In the get logger is the class. I have to create object, give one reference variable logger. Now object is ready. By using this object, next I want to create a formatter object. Formatter is the one predefined class. I have to create a formatter object. Formatter means two options are there. One is console, file. Console aithe stream handler is the class. File aithe file handler is the class. Once I am creating logger object, based on this logger, I have to define a formatter object. Formatter last kada date and time. Sir, the last. The second object is handler object. Logger object, handler object, finally third object, formatter object. Three objects I have to create. See, first logger object means which type of level message I have to forward a debug error, those things. This formatter object I have to give into the handler. At the time of handler, two options are there. One is console or you want to store file. Both also possible. Based on this, I have to give formatter means date and time. You have to give an date and time. Once I created logger, handler, formatter, this formatter I can add it to console. Console will be added to logger. By using this log, we have to generate our message. Up to now, whenever I'm using message, every time I'm using logging.debug, logging. But now my own log file dot messages I have to provided. So three objects I have to create: logger object, handler object, formatter. Formatter add to the console, console add to the log. By using this log, you have to create your own messages. So first one is creation of logger object, and we have to set the level. How to do? Logger equal to module name dot, the class name is get logger. Suppose I'm given as a demo logger is the by using logger dot set the level. Logging dot, suppose I want to make it as a debug messages. This is the first one. Get logger is the class available to the logging module. Creation of handler object. There are multiple types of handlers like stream handler and file handler. Stream handler is to display to the console. File handler is to store the data to the file. Console handler equal to logging dot stream handler is the class. Now by using this console handler, we go with set level logging dot error. Creation of formatter object, date and time. A formatter equal to logging dot formatter class. Instead, I have to give percentage ASC time percentage name of the logger. I have to give a level name given yes. Message yes, comma date format equal to percentage D, percentage M, percentage Y, percentage I, percentage M, percentage S, percentage P. So three objects are ready: logger object, handler object, formatter object. Now reverse order, you can add formatter to handler, handler to logger. Add formatter to handler. How? Your handler name is console handler. Console handler dot set formatter. What is your reference variable? Formatter. It is added to your fifth. Add this handler to logger. How? The reference variable is logger dot add handler. Instead, I want to provide that console handler. This is the 6 steps. First logger, after that handler formatter. Add formatter to console, add console to logger. Write messages by using logger object, not the logging module. Messages by using the logger object. Logger dot debug any errors, those things. So yesterday, whenever I'm using debug error, I'm using logging, but I'm not using logging module logger because logger is the my own logger. Sir, example is sir, should be steps based on this the program. Same program we copy paste into test.py. First I'm creating logger, handler based on the date and time. Back process add formatter to handler, handler to logger. By using logger, you have to write your messages. So first I want to create, first example is stream handler. And I want to display messages to the console. Same steps I copy pasted. Now program not required just to see the program. Open test.py file. So here, first observe import. What is the module name? Logging. First one logger object. Just now I'm given the same steps, just to copy paste. Logger object is ready. Once logger object is ready, handler object. This is the handler object. So stream handler is the class. I created object given name as a console handler. Set the label to the error. Next to third object, formatter object. This is the formatter object. Once it is done, add formatter to console handler. For that, these two steps. Console handler, set formatter. Once it is done, logger dot add handler. Added there. Now we have to write our messages. Logger dot debug. And debug message. Next I want to go with, so every time I'm using logging, now I'm using logger. Debug info warning error critical info warning error critical. Now go to the server. Go on there. So here I am getting the two messages, error and critical messages. Because logging module I can set the debug, but in the console handler what I'm given error. So whatever console handler is the final, that messages will be displayed, error messages. Search only. Yesterday here I am getting as a root. Now I am not getting root. Demo logger. Idi level. Idi messages. Date and time. What is this demo logger? Idi. Ikkada whatever name I am given, my own name will be considered there. So it is the Sunny logger. So real time highly recommended one. Who is done the program based on that? Our own log files we have to create it, not the root. That this is the example for stream handler. So here always we are taking debug is the logger, but error whatever given, console handler is the final. Here whatever given, it will be considered. Okay. So same step, just now you are written, that one copy pasted. No need to write the program, just to see this. Note. By default, logger level will be available to the handler. But if we can define our own level at handler level, which will be the final for that handler. Because here two I can provide it there. Logging level I'm given debug, but handler level whatever I'm given, this is the final. That's why I'm getting only error and critical messages only. That is I'm telling here. Whatever mentioned in the handler, it should be the final. Handler level should be supported by logger level. That is, logger log level should be lower than handler level. Otherwise, only logger log level will be considered. Next example for the file handler. Sir, how console handler is there? Same concept for file handler also. Only the changes here. Instead of stream handler, you can use file handler class. Remaining everything should be same. Just to see the program. Okay. In the file handler, whatever changes are there means. Instead of stream handler, you can mention file handler abc.log is the file. Mode I have to give an append mode. Next, date month by formatter. Ikkada just change file handler. Just you have to change file handler. This file handler you have to use in place of here. Add handler, file handler, formatter, file, date format. Done. Now Run the program. This time console, nothing will be happened. It is created a file ABC. Go to the current working directory. ABC dot log file is there. And in this, previously created some files 2010, 2023, 9 to 2024. Today date 19/3/2024. I added two messages. Because I'm using append mode, that's why it is appended. My old messages are available, latest messages are also available there. If I'm not using append mode, write mode, it will be overridden. And that is called as your file handler. So steps are first given a common steps, those only. Console aite you can use stream handler, file aite file handler. Steps should be same steps repeated. Here small changes, class names we are changing. Sir, but I want both. Console I can require, file I can require. Then both I want. Both console and file. What should I do? Means both console and file means. Sir, here come to this program only. Some 2-3 steps are extra. You want import logging module demo logger debug message log.a error message. Same like that, you can take this one also. Both you can create. Console handler also you can create. After file handler, console. So file is stored into abc.log. Console will be displayed to the end user. So here formatter is there. Take the two formatter objects. First formatter 1, next formatter 2. In the first parameter, AC time, name, level message are there. Second time, we have to reduce all these things, just our clarity purpose. So in the console, just I have to display time, message only. In the file, I displayed all the values I can be displayed. So two formatters are ready. Now file handler dot set formatter. I can add formatter 1. Next, console handler. Formatter 2. So file kemo, I added formatter 1. Console cam added formatter 2. Next, logger dot add handler file. Logger dot add handler console. So every time 2 I can provided there. Previously one I am taken. This is related to file handling. This is console. Two formats I am taken. Formatter 1 I am given to the file. Formatter 2 I am given to the console. I added to the logger. Complete message will be done. Save this, run it. In the console, error message, critical messages are provided. Because in the console, what I am added? Formatter to time, message. File handler, all will be there. Go to their ABC. Open the file. Just now I executed error and console error. 10:9. Like both are supported. Both file and console. That is the way how to provided file handlers. Sir, yesterday one program I am written that is student.py, test.py file. Once I imported student, it is created only one module log file, both not created. For every module, separate log file for every module. Ante first I have to take the test.py. Inside I have to write the code. That code is yesterday code ఉంది కదా student.py. This PC చదువుకోండి. Yesterday I'm created normal file. I'm not providing any logger classes, all these things. That is the problem. Now what I was doing is I have to create our own first logger object I want to create it. This is the student logger, not demo, student logger. Debug messages I can provide it. I have to create a file handler object. Yes, this is the steps to create the file handler. Instead of ABC, I have to give student mode equal to W mode. Next date time, take the format object. Every file, same common code only, same steps will be repeated. Format object is ready. So student logger, file handler, file is ready. Inside I want to provide add file handler. After that, add this file handler. After this, messages. Now I have to provide a debug message from student module. Same. This student module. In the student.py, SDDEC logging I'm using now, my own logger, file handlers, formatter, I added. This student you have to import to test.py. SD also same I was doing, but yesterday not created both files. Now you can see I imported student, logger, get logger. This is the test.py, logging.debug, file handler. The file name is test.log. Go to append mode, error. Ikkada console I don't want, remove. Remove this formatter. Second one not required. Console is not there. It is also not there. So in the test.py importing student, same logger object, file handler, formatter added. But this is the debug message from test module. Now yesterday the problem is once I executed this test, only student created test logger is not created because of the root. Now you can check this, both will be created there. Run the py test.py, format 1 ikkada wrong. ఇంకెక్కడ ఉంది ఫార్మాటర్ 1 స్టూడెంట్ లో ఉందేమో యా ఇదిగోండి ప్రోగ్రామ్ ఎగ్జిక్యూషన్ డన్ go to the inside first file is student.log today date time created ఇంకోండి 19 student logger error messages critical messages Second file test not created yesterday. Now today is going test log. Now the date and the time will be displayed. Test logger will be created there. So that's why we have to use our own loggers instead of the root logger. This is the first to take the student.py file. Inside student, this is the code. This code you can call to the test.py. The story. Student py file. This file I'm importing here, creating this one. Sir, observe here in the student.py, test.py, some common steps are there. Logging, file handler, formatter, all these are common for every programming. So instead of writing every time, first onwards, first program you can check. Introduction, I'm telling 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 steps. In stream handler, I'm repeated. In file handler, I repeated. In the third program, I repeated. Every time repeating the same steps. Where is the reusability? Instead of that, these are all common steps, make it as a one function. Then just to call that function in the real time, this much of code not required. Because this whatever starting to up to here common, only this 4 you can change. These lines you can make it as a one function, just to call that function. Your job will become simplified. Real time, this much of lengthy code is not required. This common code I can separate it, make it as a one function, call the function. Before that, I will tell one important module. Importance of the inspect module. There is one module is there, inspect. What it will do means, it will do the inspection. Ante, suppose I am calling a function from the module. From which module, which function you are calling, it is identifying. From which module function call is coming. That is the importance of main inspect module. Suppose I'm defining one function today, one F1 something is there. Someone is calling my function. Who is calling the function? It will be identified. For example, my requirement is, there is a one file I have to take, demo.py. Take one empty file, Python file. Sir, in this import, what is the module name? Inspect. Def, my function name get underscore info method. Inside I want to provide a print the module name inspect dot. There is a function is there, stack. For example, save this one. This is I want to store demo.py. See this carefully. Demo.py is the module, getinfo is the function. This function I am calling into test.py. How to call the test.py here? From module name, import. What is the method? Get underscore info. Now, here a function is there, F1 function. Call the function get underscore info. Now F1. Here observe carefully. In test.py, F1 is there. F1 is calling the getinfo function. That getinfo is available to the demo. Inspect module, what it is doing means, asal who is calling my getinfo function? Who is calling this function? F1. F1 is available where? Test. That information will be tracking by inspect module. Because this is my function, some another one is calling, it is inspecting this information. Now print this one, call that py test.py. Something will be provided there. It is a list. Inside list, some values are available there. I want to print the first indexed value. So in this is going to, what is the function name calling? F1. What is the module name? Test.py. Ante, who is calling my function inspect module is inspecting. The calling module name is test.py. The function name is F1. How to get that information means, inka simplified version. I go with print caller module name. That is, I want to go with inspect dot stack first index, the first value. Next, print caller function name. Who is calling my method means that is here inspect dot stack of third argument, third index value. Now it will be displayed clear information. The caller module name is D. Mahesh class is test.py. Who is calling your function F1? Ante this get info method can be called by F1. This F1 is available test1. Who is watching that one? Inspect module is watching. That is the main advantage of inspect module. Demo.py. This function calling to the test.py. So take this one. It's very important to inspect module. Importance of the inspect module. The last one, creation of generic logger and usage means here in the test.py, just now previous program, you can check it. These many lines of code is there. You can check line number 1 to 12 and in student.py line number 1 to 12, both are same only. Here also 1 to 11 steps, common steps. Logger object I have to created. After that file handler format. This common code I can be separated. For that, I have to take one Python file, go to file, others, Python file. In this, whatever common code is there, import, logging. This function who is calling I want to observe, that's why inspect module I am taken. Take one common function def, get underscore, custom underscore logger. Inside I have to pass some level. At the time of calling this function, I can pass the level. Function name. How to get the function name? Just name given. This is the way. Inspect stack. Who is calling my function? Use this method. This is the function name. Ante tomorrow maybe tester or student or someone is calling. It is tracking by this and stored into function name. That function name with logger I ought to created. So my logger name is function name plus logger. Because who is calling my function, I don't know. That's why I'm reading function name and created with the logger. In the next logger object creation, these are all the common steps. Logger equal to logger object. These two steps are common. But level not debug. I'm passing one argument. That one you can pass here. This is the first one. Next to file handler. File handler is common. Next, this one I have to pass level we can pass abc.log append mode formatter object. Formatter object is ready. After formatter object, I want to add the file handler. So one time only you have to declare this return the logger. This is the common code. Save this. The file is custom logger.py file. So this is the file custom logger.py. Inside one function is there get custom. All the code written here. Now simple in your test.py come to here. Remove all these things. Not required. Just you have to take from custom logger import. What is the function name? This is the function name. Get custom logger is the function name. So tomorrow wherever you can require just to call this function. And one more import logging. Now def, it is the log test. Inside create object logger object equal to. This is the function which is created there. Inside I have to pass the level. That level is logging dot debug. Now it is the test logger will be created. Now చూడండి, now simplified code run the test.py. Logger is not defined. Sorry. Call the function. What is the function name? Log test is the function. Yes, created there. You have to check it. Your file name is, what is the function name? Log test logger will be created there. ఇంకోండి log test log file. ఓహో yeah 19.3 abc.log. Inside your logger name is now I executed 1032. The test logger is the file name. So like that you have to provided your custlogger.py file. Sir, only this common code is enough for you in the real time. This code is enough. Wherever you can require, you can call this function. This is the code what we have to implemented in the real-time application. One time you have to generate, wherever you can require, you can call. Suppose tomorrow, if I want to call student.py, in the student.py also, open your student.py. Remove all these things are not required. So here what I was doing is, the test.py, how I am written, take this, def, here I want to provide log student. Inside I have to give messages. I have to create object for logger. So ఇక్కడ you want to do anything, that function will take care of this function. Logging dot error message. This time log student logger will be created. Call the function. So you no need to write those many lines. Run the py student dot execution done. So what is the file name? ABC open. Test logger, demo logger. What is the file name? abc.log. Is it written student messages? Demo. Log student. Py student.py. Open the file. ABC test. Where is the student? Where? Student module. మరి ఇక్కడ I have to display which one? చేయలేదా? Go log student I'm given na. Then this name will be added there. Which function calling? This function calling by log student. So automatic ఏం రావాలి అప్పుడు then ఆ నేమ్ రావాలి. ఓకే ఇక్కడ చేంజ్ చేయాలి. ఓకే now will be created there abc. Now getting the student logger. So like that we have to customize the code. That code is the reusable code. One time we have to generate. Everywhere we can use this one. So main code, this file. Custom logger file is the main file. One time you can generate, call that function wherever you can require it. So like whatever function, whatever modules are there, call this function, you can generate your log files. You can call this function inside the function with that you can create it. Here don't give test logger, give that function name only, automatically it is calling. Suppose which function I am calling, instead of here, you can give function name Subhash, function name. Function name it is returning who is calling that function name plus add the logger value. Then automatically it is calling this logger name you can pass here. Then it will be created that one. So that is the story of the logging module story. The advanced logging, date and time, file handler, console handler, how to create our own custom loggers.